Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted to be back in Houston Hall. I've spent a lot of time in these hallowed halls a while ago, but the debating team used to meet on the second floor. And in fact, we held quite a few debates there. And it's great to be a Penn grad, and great to see so many good prospects for becoming Penn grads. When Magic Johnson talks about change, that is the creed of the Obama administration. And when I cast the vote for the stimulus package, which was a matter of urgency and necessity, with the country looking like we might slide into a 1929 depression, I joined the Obama team. And he's the captain of the team, and I'm glad to be on his team. We had the recess in August. I went across the state supporting President Obama's health care plan. President Obama wants to have a robust public option, and so do I. President Obama wants to cover the 47 million Americans not now covered, and so do I. President Obama wants to stop the rising costs of health insurance, which is doubling every decade, and so do I.
I was wondering how, especially given the current economic climate, how do you balance your own passions, the things that you, before the economic crisis hit, things like stem cell research, where that goes today, and at what point do you need to draw the line on things you would like to see versus what needs to be done right now?
The question is, how do I decide essentially priorities? Well, I figure out what I think is the most important, and I think that medical research is there's nothing more important than medical research because there's a chance to cure the maladies of the world. Would I have had the stimulus package different if I had had more choice? Yeah. I would have put more money into the shovel-ready project, put more money into highways. Pennsylvania has $1 billion, over $1 billion for highways, but I would have put more in. Pennsylvania is the beneficiary of $16 billion. 143,000 jobs. Jake Diggle has handed me a card that Penn has gotten $163 million from the stimulus package for medical research. Over the past decade, Penn has gotten more than $4 billion on medical research. That's what I would put. The two highest priorities in my view, the two highest priorities are health and education. Without good health, you can't do anything, and without a good education, you can't do much.
Thank you for coming, Senator. My name is Brady Sullivan, and I have a question regarding the Employee Free Choice Act, specifically the proposed government arbitration panel that would be involved in that law. My question is twofold. What gives the government the right to tell an employer how much he's to pay a certain employee simply because they couldn't reach an agreement with the union? And second, what gives the government the right to forbid the employer to walk away from negotiations?
The authority of the government on labor relations law is based on the General Welfare Clause of the Constitution. It's the basis for passing the Wagner Act in the 1930s to require collective bargaining, and the basis for labor legislation since. Today you find that about half the contracts after a union is certified are not entered into because the employer waits out the process, waits out a year, then moves for decertification, the union gets tired and goes away. The thought on the arbitration is not to give the arbitrator discretion as to deciding what the figure should be, but to have what is called last best offer so that it drives people to the middle. Under some arbitration, they have them far apart, cut it down the middle, and it's awful. the thinking is, and again I emphasize this is not final, is to give the arbitrator very limited discretion, has to pick one or the other. It drives people to the center, or if you make an outlandish offer, the other one is taken.
And I'd like to ask what you will do as a pro-choice leader to make sure that impoverished women, again, don't end up being the people suffering from being the area where everyone is always willing to compromise on their necessary health services, public health, and a constitutionally protected medical procedure.
Well, I will maintain an aggressive posture to see that a woman retains her right to choose. And that if people don't want to buy a health insurance policy which provides for abortion, they don't have to buy it. But that if people want to buy a policy which provides for abortion, that they can buy it. I want to thank you. It's a lively session, and I also want to congratulate you for being Penn students. You're going to have a great degree, and I'm just glad that it's a ways from where you are now to being 35 to be able to run against me for the United States Senate. Thank you all.